Mia Carter stepped through the revolving doors of the Aurora Royale Hotel, her paint-spattered t-shirt and faded denim jacket in stark contrast to the marble lobby. At 32, Mia carried herself with quiet assurance, though exhaustion tugged at her posture after a long shift teaching art to underserved youth. Her gray baseball cap sat low over a loose ponytail, and her worn jeans spoke of someone who prized purpose over presentation. As she approached the reception desk, Mia caught her reflection in the polished brass rail, a woman dedicated to her community program, not to couture. The male clerk, Lucas Reed, barely looked up. His name badge glinted beneath the chandelier light as he asked in a clipped tone, "Name, please?" "Mia Carter," she replied, offering her driver's license. Lucas examined it with exaggerated care, then exchanged a glance with his colleague, Sophia Lane. None of the usual courtesy appeared, no preloaded room key, no warm greeting. "I see no reservation under Carter," Lucas said, voice edged with skepticism. Mia felt her cheeks warm but kept her tone even. "My husband called ahead. Henry Carter owns this hotel." Sophia's eyebrow arched. "We get this occasionally. People claim they're related to Mr. Carter for perks." The lobby, once alive with soft piano music, fell oddly quiet as a few guests paused to watch. Mia inhaled slowly. "I'm not claiming. I am Mia Carter." She rested a hand on her backpack strap. Lucas's lips curved into a thin smile. "Perhaps you prefer another hotel downtown, one more suited to casual attire." The suggestion cut deeper than embarrassment, it implied she didn't belong in her own husband's property. She squared her shoulders. "I'll wait here. My husband will arrive soon." Lucas tapped his keyboard. "No note from Mr. Carter. And I'm afraid we're fully booked." The words hung in the air like a verdict. Mia stood silent but resolute, understanding that this was more than a missing reservation, it was a judgment of her worth. Mia Carter remained at the reception desk as the afternoon light slanted through the hotel's stained-glass windows. Lucas Reed shifted in his seat, clearly eager to move on to paying guests. Beside him, Sophia Lane leaned close, whispering, though loud enough that Mia and nearby patrons could hear. "Maybe she's an imposter," Sophia murmured, eyes flicking to Mia's paint-stained clothes. Mia drew in a measured breath. "Please call the duty manager," she said, voice calm but firm. Lucas shook his head without looking up. "Mr. Carter's away at a conference. And I'm the most senior staff member on duty." She paused, considering her options. Finally, "Then call Mr. Carter directly. I guarantee he'll want to know his wife is being turned away." Lucas glanced at his screen, feigning busywork. "We don't call Mr. Carter for every guest, madam. Especially not one who looks like they just left a workshop." A few guests in line tensed, exchanging uneasy glances. Mia noticed a distinguished older couple watching with sympathetic eyes. The husband cleared his throat. "Is there a problem here?" he asked politely. Lucas straightened. "No problem, sir. We're simply directing this guest to more suitable accommodations." He pointed toward the lobby exit as though guiding a stray dog. Sophia shot Mia a look of thinly veiled relief. Mia felt indignation rise but refused to match their tone. "I'm not leaving. My husband owns this hotel. I want a room." Lucas's lips pressed into a tight line. "We require pre-authorization for high-value bookings. No form of ID or payment on file. You must go elsewhere." His gesture toward the door bordered on dismissive. Mia steadied herself. "I'm not going elsewhere. I'll wait until Mr. Carter returns." Behind Lucas, Sophia's lips curled into a smirk. A line of guests formed behind Mia, some tapping phones, others whispering. A security guard, Jonas Cole, appeared at their side, uniform crisp and expression unreadable. Jonas offered Mia a polite nod. "Madam, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave." Mia met his gaze. "I'm his wife," she said quietly. In that moment, the lobby felt colder, its luxurious trappings irrelevant in the face of raw prejudice. Mia held her ground as Jonas extended his hand, ready to escort her out. Sophia and Lucas exchanged a final glance of triumph. "Let's not make this a scene," Lucas murmured. Mia's jaw tightened. She would not be the punchline of their elitist assumptions. As Jonas Cole escorted Mia Carter toward the lobby exit, murmurs rippled through the gathered guests. Mia felt the weight of every gaze, curiosity, discomfort, some amusement. The hotel's grand piano chimed softly behind her as she and Jonas reached the revolving doors. Just before she stepped through, Mia stopped and turned. "This is not a disturbance," she stated calmly. "I am trying to check into my husband's hotel after a long day's work." Jonas hesitated, his grip relaxing for a fraction of a second. Lucas Reed advanced. "Madam, you were asked politely. If you refuse to leave, it becomes disorderly conduct." His voice never rose, but every word was a threat. Sophia Lane hovered behind him, arms crossed, face cold. A small group of guests formed a half-circle, some recording with phones. Mia's eyes met Jonas's. In his expression she saw a flicker of doubt. "Sir," she said, voice soft, "please reconsider. I'm not trespassing. I simply want what any guest wants, a room." Jonas's hand lowered almost completely. He glanced at Lucas and Sophia, then back at Mia. Lucas broke the silence with a sigh. "I insist," he said, and motioned Jonas forward. Jonas straightened, shoulders squared. "Madam, please step this way." Mia realized the next moment would define everything. Either she'd be pushed out into the street, or someone would intervene. She took one step forward, then froze. A sudden hush fell as Henry Carter appeared beside the reception desk. Dressed in a charcoal suit, hair threaded with silver, his presence commanded attention effortlessly. He watched the scene unfold with impassive eyes. Jonas's shoulders slackened, Lucas and Sophia stiffened. Mia's heart pounded. The guests parted as Henry moved into the center of the lobby, his gaze settling on Mia's paint-stained attire and the cluster of staff. She stood tall, backpack at her feet, meeting his eyes with relief. Henry spoke in a quiet voice that carried, "What seems to be the problem here?" Lucas swallowed, mouth dry. Sophia's cheeks colored. Jonas looked torn. Mia exhaled, hope flaring in her chest. At last, her voice did not go unheard. Henry Carter surveyed the scene, Mia, flushed but composed, standing before the reception. Lucas Reed and Sophia Lane, caught between protocol and obvious embarrassment, Jonas Cole, hands still hovering at Mia's elbow. The hotel's crystal chandeliers scattered light across the marble floor, where every guest now watched in rapt silence. Slowly, Henry took a step forward. Without raising his voice, he addressed Lucas. "Lucas, please release her arm." The single sentence hung between them like a gavel striking. Lucas hesitated, then mutely let go. Sophia covered her mouth, eyes wide. Mia's posture softened as relief washed over her. Henry moved to stand beside Mia, placing a protective hand lightly on her shoulder. "My wife is a guest here, regardless of her attire," he said, voice steady and low. His control of the room was immediate, whispers faded, back straightened, and the subtle tension lifted. Sophia managed a half bow. "Mr. Carter, I apologize. We misunderstood." Her apology trembled, more from recognition of guilt than from protocol. Lucas swallowed and nodded. Jonas rubbed the back of his neck, still in uniform but no longer blocking Mia's path. Henry turned to Mia, offering a small, reassuring smile. "Are you all right?" Mia nodded, her relief tempered by indignation. "I am now." She touched the watch on her wrist, a gift Henry had entrusted to her care, then returned her gaze to the staff. Henry addressed them both. "I'd like an explanation for why my wife was refused." Lucas swallowed again, searching for words. Sophia swallowed hard. Finally, Lucas cleared his throat. Sir, we follow strict procedures for high-value reservations. Without pre-authorization, we believed someone was taking advantage. Henry's lips pressed into a thin line. You believed you could judge her worth by her clothes, he said. His tone was neither angry nor mocking, simply factual. Every eye in the lobby tracked the exchange as Henry continued, Mia is the reason this hotel exists. I trust her judgment, and you should learn to treat every guest with the same respect. Sophia's eyes lowered. Lucas glanced at his screen, avoiding Henry's gaze. Jonas shifted, uniform collar creaking. Mia took Henry's hand. His presence, calm yet unyielding, had turned a private insult into a universal lesson. In that moment, the power dynamic irrevocably shifted. Later, in the private hallway outside the manager's office, Henry Carter stood with Mia while Lucas Reed, Sophia Lane, and Jonas Cole assembled before him. The plush carpet muted their footsteps as Henry closed the door behind them. Thank you for coming, Henry began, folding his hands behind his back. I want to understand exactly what happened. Lucas cleared his throat. Sir, when Ms. Carter arrived, her reservation did not appear in our system. We followed standard protocol for high-value bookings, request pre-authorization, verify identity, then confirm the room. Henry's expression remained neutral. So you refused entry to the owner's wife because her name wasn't in your system? He turned to Sophia. And you suggested she seek more suitable accommodations because of her appearance? Sophia swallowed. Sir, it's not personal, just hotel policy. Her voice cracked. Mia watched quietly, her calm presence emphasizing the disparity between policy and humanity. Henry folded his arms. Policy exists to protect guests, not to humiliate them. You had no right to judge her based on clothing. He faced Jonas then. And you, Jonas, you were ready to remove her by force. Why? Jonas's gaze flickered between Henry and Mia. Sir, I was following Lucas's instructions, he admitted. I didn't want to cause trouble, but I thought she was trespassing. Henry nodded once. You all made the same assumption, that worth is defined by appearance. That assumption nearly cost you your integrity. Lucas's shoulders slumped. I see that now. Sophia fought back tears. I'm sorry for my words, Mr. Carter. Jonas chimed in, voice hushed, I apologize, too. Mia placed a gentle hand on Henry's arm, signaling she preferred a constructive solution. Henry straightened. Good. Apologies are a start, but we must do better. He pulled a leather-bound notebook from his pocket. Tomorrow morning, I'm convening an emergency meeting of all hotel managers. We will overhaul our training on bias and customer service. This hallway conversation will be part of the new curriculum. Lucas looked up, curiosity replacing shame. You want us to help train others? Henry nodded. Your first-hand experience with prejudice makes you invaluable teachers. We'll partner with Mia's community art program to run workshops on empathy and respect. Sophia's mouth fell open. Jonas's eyes brightened. Mia squeezed Henry's hand, pride shining in her gaze. Thank you, she said softly. Turning a mistake into a lesson, this is how real change happens. By 8 a.m. The next day, the Aurora Royale's boardroom hummed with anxious energy. Hotel managers from every department, front desk, concierge, security, housekeeping, filed into their seats around a mahogany table. At the head, Henry Carter stood, Mia seated beside him. Lucas Reed, Sophia Lane, and Jonas Cole occupied seats in the front row. Henry tapped a glass of water. Thank you all for coming on short notice, he began. Yesterday, a grave error occurred. We judged a guest by her appearance rather than her character. That guest was my wife, Mia Carter. A ripple of recognition passed through the room. He flipped open his notebook. Today, we launched the Dignity for All initiative. Step 1, mandatory anti-bias training for every staff member, led in part by those who experienced the mistake, Lucas, Sophia, and Jonas. Heads turned, uncomfortable glances passed between the three. Sophia cleared her throat. Mr. Carter, we're honored, but this is unprecedented. Henry's gaze was steady. Unprecedented precisely because it's necessary. We'll partner with Mia's Outreach Foundation, which empowers underserved youth through creativity. You will volunteer in her program next week. Jonas inhaled sharply. Lucas and Sophia exchanged a stunned look. Henry continued, Step 2, revise guest service protocols. From now on, every staff member must greet each guest with an open question, not an assumption. No more pre-authorization demands without first verifying identity, and never exclude based on appearance. He pointed to a slide behind him displaying empathy, respect, inclusion. Step 3, evaluation metrics tied to guest feedback. We'll track satisfaction scores and personal testimonials. Failure to meet standards will be addressed through coaching and, if necessary, reassignment. Lucas raised his hand tentatively. Sir, what about immediate support for Mia's Outreach students? Henry smiled. Glad you asked. Step 4. We'll host an Outreach showcase here next month, featuring artwork by the children. The lobby will transform into a community gallery. The room buzzed with energy as managers scribbled notes. Jonas leaned toward Sophia. I never thought I'd teach art to kids, he murmured. She offered a tentative smile. It might be rewarding. Finally, Henry closed his notebook. This hotel's reputation is built on luxury, yes, but true luxury is respect. You three will co-facilitate training sessions with Mia. After you've completed your volunteer days, you'll help roll out the program group-wide. Lucas, Sophia, and Jonas rose together, resolve in their expressions. Mia placed a hand on Henry's arm. I'm proud of what we're doing, she said quietly. Henry kissed her temple. The mood shifted from contrition to collaboration, a tangible sign that reform was underway. 3 months on, the Aurora Royale Hotel feels transformed. Guest satisfaction scores have climbed 23%, with glowing praise for the lobby's inclusive atmosphere. A new plaque near the entrance reads, At Aurora Royale, dignity and respect guide every welcome. Lucas Reed now greets guests with genuine warmth, no matter their attire, and shares stories of his Outreach volunteer days. Sophia Lane has joined the hotel's community partnership team, coordinating monthly art workshops for local schools. Jonas Cole leads security training sessions, using his own experience to illustrate how empathy enhances safety. One afternoon, Mia Carter walks through the lobby in jeans and a casual sweater, no hat today, and smiles as a family of elementary school children admire artwork lining the walls. Their paintings, displayed in collaboration with her Outreach Foundation, bring color and life to the space. Mia pauses by their display, a vivid mural titled Belonging. Henry Carter appears at her side. Look at how far we've come, he says, pride in his voice. Mia gently squeezes his hand. It's more than policy, it's culture. Nearby, Lucas guides an elderly couple past the mural, graciously explaining each piece. Sophia helps a visitor find information on upcoming community events. Jonas stands watch by the grand piano, nodding to guests rather than blocking them. Later, Henry and Mia leave together. As they pass the plaque, Mia reads the final line aloud, We judge not by appearance, but by recognizing the inherent worth in every individual. She looks at Henry. This place has a soul now. He smiles. Thanks to you. Months earlier, a woman in a baseball cap faced humiliation here. Today, that same space champions art, empathy, and dignity. The ripple that began with one moment of prejudice has become a wave of lasting change, reminding every guest, every staff member, and every community member that true luxury lies in respect.